Also, something that's pretty crazy, I found this ant in my driveway and I was like, well, I don't want that near my house, but I'll bring it out here to the field to let it go. But check the size of this thing out. So I want to know, how big are your ants in your country? This is an Australian bull ant, and this one's actually the queen. So it's kind of pretty scary. It's pulled its wings off, which is what they do once they're ready. So I don't have to worry about it flying away. But check the size of this thing out. I've got an XT60 in there for scale as well. And then let's see what it looks like. Oh, it scared me. Look at it. That thing is a beast. And it has like huge jaws as well. Welcome to your new home. Actually, we're going to go even further away. There he goes, or she goes. Yeah, so those things have a terribly painful sting, so hopefully it doesn't come over this way. Well, I wish it was going the other way. It is kind of coming over to where the apprentice is doing his work. G'day, Stu from UAV Futures here, and today, well, what we're checking out, I've got a video for you budget conscious people out there, people who don't want to break the bank, but they still want some decent performance. And what I'm talking about is these motors right here, the Emax Ecos, and essentially what these are, they're designed to give us fantastic performance that still doesn't cost a whole bunch as well, because motors can be super expensive. I know some of them are like 25, 30 US bucks a pop, which, look, if you can afford that, that is fantastic. But I know for a lot of people out there, and myself included, when I was going to start flying, I had to budget down to the penny what I was going to be putting on my drone, especially if you're going to crash something, and you want to make some good investments. You don't want to break the bank as well. So what we're checking out today is these bad boys right here. Now we're going to very quickly stick them on the scales, have a quick squeeze at them, and then the important stuff, we'll take it out, rip it around, have some fun, see what some other pilots think, and show you the performance. So let's do it. Let's get the scales. And I should also say too, it's coming in at like 12 bucks or something. So 11 or $12, which is pretty cheap compared to some of the other things on the market. So let's put it on here. This is with the, let me tie this up in a knot. This is with the wires that it comes with. It's coming in at about 31 grams, so the weight is perfectly acceptable there. It does have some relatively long wires, and of course you trim those down to suit your build. Now it comes in two versions, so you've got a 6S version, which is like 17 or 1750 kV, and then you've got a 4S version as well, which is what I've got. They're both 2306s, but the 4S version is 2400 kV. Yeah, it is 2400 kV. So that's the only two differences. And then of course you've got like a nice open bottom there, keeping the weight down. Apparently it's got a bit of a more durable bearing, but we'll have to put it to the test, see how it goes up in a lot of crashes. Hollow shaft at the top, and that's about it. It's got a nice little grey colour. It's got Emax written on the side. There's not too much I can say on the bench. I mean, looking at it from the top, I don't mind the pattern. Underneath, I think the coils look pretty good. I'm excited to put it through its paces. So that's it on the bench. That's your $12 motor. What we want to do now, we want to find out how much performance we get out of it, how does it handle, and see what the other pilots think about it as well. So I'm going to put it on a craft and then meet you out in the field in 3, 2, 1. Rightio, out here in the field, we're going to test out the new Emax Eco motors. I've put them on a Transtech Frog frame, which is a super reliable frame. Should take a beating, which is important because we've also got Granger over there, the apprentice. He's setting up, so once he's got a course, we'll give him a chance too. We'll go out, rip it around, and find out how good are these $12 motors. Is it worth getting? All that sort of stuff. Show you some HD footage. All right, let's do it. Alrighty, you guys are in for a treat because it's gone. Look at this thing just covering ground. You drop the throttle, or punch the throttle I should say, and this thing just disappears. It's a rocket. And it's also worth noting too, remember the Transtech Frog, it's not a racing frame, it's not streamlined or anything like that. It's a bit of a heavy tank, and these motors are still absolutely ripping it around. And I would love to know, what do you think first about the performance of this motor? Like, how does it look generally and all that sort of stuff? And then how does it make you feel when someone's like, yeah, you can buy these motors for 12 bucks a pop, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I really like the quality as well. That's what I like. Not only the performance, you've got amazing price, but also Emax, I think, make a much higher quality motor than something like the Sam Gook DYSs. They were good motors, but look, they weren't the most, I think, durable, and the quality would sometimes be lacking, but you are okay to pay that amount because they were so cheap. Here, it's like the best of all three worlds. So you've got performance, price, and quality, which I really
really like. I think it's going to get a whole bunch of people flying, and I can honestly think, like, why would you pay for those more expensive motors if this is the sort of stuff you can get? Decided to do a bit of NERC action here, possibly chase a train, but of course we won't do that. But yeah, why would you pay for one of those expensive motors for the everyday sort of park flyer, and even for like the amateur racer? Now I understand some pro racers like BMS Thomas, or some crazy people out there, they need that edge, and that's where they're going to be really paying for it. It can get quite expensive at the 30 bucks, a pop per motor. But for the everyday person who just wants to fly around, have some fun, I really like having a $12 motor. And the best part too, if you totally trash this, and these things did hold up well, if you totally did trash this, well, it's only 12 bucks to get a replacement anyway, which is almost cheaper sometimes than even the Bell on some of those other more expensive ones. But what we should do, let's hand it over to our resident racer, Granger, see what he thinks, and tell him he needs a haircut, all that sort of stuff. So show him some love in the comments. But yeah, overall, look, if you want to get some awesome set of motors that isn't going to break the bank, I think massive double thumbs up for this. I am a big fan of the Emax Ecos. But let's see what the resident racer thinks.
Radio Granger, so it's your turn. How did these are the Emax Eco motors? They're like a value version. So Emax is really trying to go after something, I guess, that targets people who don't have a ton of cash to spend. They're coming in at about 12 bucks or 11 bucks. I'll put it on the screen anyway.
It's cheap.
But yeah, how did it look in the air?
In the air, so I thought originally that these were not cheap motors. They looked top quality, to be honest, and I was quite surprised when he told me they were $12. So they looked very powerful. They were very strong. They looked strong because he's already had a crash with them. They sounded good. They didn't come down hot. Lots of power, surprisingly.
All right, you ready to take it for a rip?
I'm ready to take it for a rip.
And we do have some pretty aggressive props on here as well, so that's probably something to take note of as well. All right, ready to do it?
Let's roll.
Righty.
All right.
Okay.
First impressions. Actually, not too bad. Well, for this budget motor, it's very, very powerful. Like, very surprised. And this is a pretty heavy frame, so I couldn't. Man, this on a light frame would be great.
And I must say, I should have probably put some clean props on there as well. So, because I've crashed these ones a little bit.
Man, it's actually surprisingly really good. The feel is very nice as well. Lots of air time. For 12 bucks, these are great. And what I normally spend on a motor is like, roughly around from 35 to about 45.
What sort of motors do you usually buy?
I buy the F60 1750 kV, the Pro 3s.
And how much is one of those?
I think they're like around 40 bucks, around that sort of margin.
You're talking AUs, that's like 35.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So this motor, you could, for one of those, you could buy 3 of these.
Yeah, exactly. So, you really couldn't go wrong with this if you're going to have a beta quad, or if this was your main quad. Like, put this on a light quad and you'll be racing with it, no doubt. Smooth as well, very, like, not so much the frame or the tune or anything. Like, I can feel that these motors are very well controlled throughout the value of the throttle. Yep. Which I really like about it. Some motors are just either on or off. And this is quite nice.
I think the term for that is linear. It feels quite linear.
But yeah, no, I'm very impressed with these motors. I can't believe that they're only 12 bucks.
Who would you recommend them for?
Probably more the beginners, because I don't know how good these would go in a crash yet.
Hey, look who it is.
Scared the crap out of me. Just heard something coming on next to me. But yeah, no, these are great.
Oh, we got Superman in the background. It's Wingman Tony. Oh, Wingman Tony, what a mistake. It's not even, it's Long Range Tony. All right, sorry, Tony. I'm just filming Granger. Right. Yep.
But yeah, definitely.
Final impressions for a 12-buck motor.
I'm in. I like them. I like them.
All right, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh, thumbs up.
Okay, no worries. How are they on the battery life?
Jesus Christ, we're ticking on 4 minutes now. That's good.
All right, you're on 13 volts now. Don't wreck my battery.
12 volts. We're landing it. All right. Very impressed.
I'll go get it. Final impressions?
Would recommend to basically...
and we did have a stack before where I didn't tighten the motor up. It came flying off. It got all chewed up by the props, and it's still alive. Still kicking.
So yeah, would recommend. pretty good durability.
What do you reckon for value for money?
Value for money, you can't beat it. I'd buy some.
Do you actually a big one? Do you prefer these to the DYS Sam Glook motors?
So these seem to go a bit better than the Sam Cooks. These are they about the same price?
I think they're about $1 more.
Well,
something.
I'd probably get these over the Sam Cooks just because these are newer and better quality and feel better.
All right, nice. Thanks, Granger.
All right.
Yeah, so there it is. There's my review of the Emax Eco Motors, and overall, I think this is definitely a step in the right direction for our hobby. I want good value, reliable components to still have a heap of performance. That's what this is. And look, I'm sure there's not going to be for everybody. Some people love to spend or have the money to spend $30, $40 per motor. If that's you, fantastic. I'm very happy for you. But I know a lot of pilots out there, they want to get the best bang for their buck, and you don't really need to spend a whole bunch of money to get some good reliable kit anymore. So overall, Emax, I love your Eco Motors. I know a lot of people are going to compare them to the DYS Sam Glook motors. I was a huge fan of those. You can go watch that video. That should pop up there as well. That's probably 8 months to a year old maybe. So these motors, they're like the next generation. If I had to choose, I'd be taking these Emax ones. So they might be like $1 more expensive or something like that, but I think the quality more than makes up for that. So yeah, it's pretty crazy what you can get now for 12 bucks or $11, whatever they are. I'll link them down below. There's a bunch of different versions. I think like a 6S version, maybe a 4S version. Other than that, subscribe for more FPV related content, and as always, happy flying. I'd love to know too in the comments, what motors do you currently use and how much do they cost you, and what do you think those versus the Eco motors, and would that make a difference and all that sort of stuff. So I'll meet you down in the comments down below. Anyway, happy flying.